So, our next speaker will be Andrea Bagaglia from Italy. Andrea is going to talk about the topic nonverbal communication. Big applause.
Do we communicate when we don't speak? Today we have the possibility to communicate to all the people in the world at any time through social media. And we can call and speak to everyone we know. But are there other types of communication, maybe more natural and instinctive ones? In general, we communicate all the time using three ways. The first is the verbal communication, when we use words. The second is the paraverbal communication, where we tone, pitch, and pace our voices to emphasize and support our words. And the third is the non-verbal communication, that we use to send messages through gestures or movements of our body. And this implies facial expressions, gestures, body language, personal space, eye gaze, and touch. But how much does this type of communication impact on the effectiveness of our messages? This is probably the type of communication that we use the most, but this is also the one which we know the less about because it is instinctive and mostly unconscious. Researchers show that the 55% of what we say is spread by our non-verbal communication, and our words are used just for the 7%. So basically, if you say the right words, but you don't use the right type of non-verbal and paraverbal communication, you may transmit less than a tenth of the message. And the perfect example of these are the best non-verbal communicators in the world. Kids. Because think about that, they can send messages about whatever they need and want without using words, simply with some facial expression and doing something with their hands and maybe sometimes screaming. And this is best shown when we look at the work of actors. When they play their characters, non-verbal communication is something they have to do at their best, like we can see in the following examples. Here are some photos of Eddie Murphy from the film 1,000 Words, where he uses a lot of gestures to order a coffee without speaking. This is obviously an exaggeration, something which does not happen very often in our daily life. But this clip shows how powerful these gestures are if mixed with the right eye gaze and body language. And now another example from the famous TV series The Big Bang Theory. Here we can see how proxemics and body language are also important. Sorry, but now I have to go a little bit technical, so please, if you sleep, don't snore. And you know what I say you know what I mean when I say proxemics, don't you? In these photos, we can see how the physical distance between Sheldon and the other man creates both a barrier between them and a clear differentiation. And if we take a deep look at the other guy on the left, we can see that he's sorry for something because of his facial expressions, and also because his shoulders are kept low and he's looking at the floor. All these things combine to tell instantly that he's not comfortable and that he's probably sad for what he's going to say. About nonverbal communication, we can observe that, for instance, the direction of the feet may indicate where attention is concentrating. To look more confident, you can open your palms sometimes, and to make a person understand that you are listening to what they are saying, You can tilt your neck to make it more visible. When you cross your arms, it means that you are not open to the other person, and maybe you are a little bit scared. And if you put a hand over your mouth, it probably means that you want to say something. Also, where you watch, tell what you are thinking about. So, for example, if you look up, it probably means that you are thinking about images. And if you look down and on the left, you are probably concentrating on sounds and words. In fact, during this presentation, I used every possible way to communicate that I'm completely comfortable talking to you. My shoulders are well stretched, I stand straight, I show my palms, and I'm looking straight at you and not at the floor. And this is how I'm speaking without speaking. This is because I feel confident, but also remember I'm Italian. Italians are famous worldwide for their non-verbal communication, which make them speak in more effective ways. Some gestures have become iconic, like meaning I don't care, or for example, meaning I'm scared, or meaning this is beautiful, and so on. A New York Times article states that Italians use an average of 250 words every single day. And honestly, that may be even not enough. Look at these photos from old Italian movies, where iconic Italian actors use this special language. But there is something you should know before you try to speak without words in the Italian way. Each gesture has a definite meaning. There may be small differences, but all gestures are, in fact, different. So you must learn each one to be sure you are not insulting someone. Nonverbal communication is the first type of language that we have spoken since when we were born, and it is something we are used to. If well used, it is a superpower that helps us to be more effective when we communicate. But non-verbal communication has far greater power than this. We can use it to understand what people think about or where is their attention going. I hope I made you curious enough to go and take a look at this incredible topic, to start speaking without speaking. Thank you.